Hello, this is me, Kunal, and it's week 4 of ANIM 308. And this week I'm going to try to rush through the process of designing and animating characters in After Effects reminiscent of puppet animation style. So the reference that I am going to show you guys is something I worked on recently for a project called Women Win, and it goes something like this.
Every 10 minutes, a woman dies from violence.
So you can see that it's a combination of animation and kind of motion graphics here. So I've designed all these puppets individually in Illustrator, and I designed the backgrounds in Photoshop. Um, and the characters which I designed in Illustrator, I kind of rigged them in After Effects using joints and parenting them, parenting all the body parts and then getting them to animate. So I'm just gonna go over some of the basic building blocks. I'm not gonna get into too much detail because you guys are super smart. You can fill in the blanks, but I'll just go over some of the most important basic things that I feel that will help you guys. So off the top, I I usually work with two different files for when I'm doing a character. If I have a lot of facial animation, then I design a separate file for the face where all the parts are separate and in different layers. So I you know um, and a separate file for the body where I just have a copy of the face just in one layer like this head, and I have all the different body parts in separate layers like the chest, the thing. I don't think I use the breast in this one, but yeah. So far, and I have a texture that I made for this shirt, which which I will show you guys how to put on, but not for now. So I just keep it off over here. So the main thing before you enter After Effects is to make sure that all your layers are in different, they're all being named correctly and in individual layers. You can see little thumbnails over here, so I can see that my hand R is, in the right place. Yeah, so let's see what else do I. Okay, so everything seems to be kind of in order here. I have, yeah, so far so good. And with the face, what I did add is some mouth shapes that so I'm going to show you guys how to do like animation within After Effects and some animation with replacement uh, methods. So in this method I have a face and let's see here, I have mouth 4, mouth 3 is a different expression, mouth 2 is a slightly different expression, and mouth 1 is this. So what you'll notice is that as the lips open and close, that it should affect the shape of the head. This is a very common thing that some people miss when they're doing character animation. They forget that the jaw is connected to the mouth. So when you open your mouth, your jaw kind of lowers. So what I have is essentially I want to remove my face. So this is what I have. I'm gonna just put a background layer, just different color. Let's see, great. So there's no confusion. So this is what I have without any face, and it looks kind of funny. But so this is my first mouth shape where I have a straight line. I'm using this as some sort of a reference. So when the mouth opens, it kind of becomes slightly bigger than that. So it's a little more realistic, right? And when it opens more, then it opens slightly more than that. Something like this is the same because it's just a smile. So if you look inside of these, you'll see that each of these layers, each of the mouth 1 layer has a line for the mouth, and and the background face. So it's basically two things in one. I'm combining that. So the first thing I'm going to do is start connecting different parts of my my character's body. Basically rig it up, right? So the first step is to set up all the anchor points of each individual element. So if I have my head here, I need the anchor point to be somewhere near the neck. So the shortcut to changing the anchor point directly instead of pressing A and then doing this and stuff like that is to use the pan behind tool or the change anchor point tool, Y. So I press Y and I just drag the anchor point to where I want it to be. So the head is fine. The belt is, I don't know why that's here, short FG. This is the stuff I'm guessing you guys are going to be skipping. Or I might just speed it up. So let's see. It's not the most exciting stuff. Anyway, so now that we have all the anchor points connected, what we now need to do is to start connecting them physically into like using parenting them to each other. So I'm just going to delete this flat texture. The head needs to connect to the neck. So where is my neck? My neck is here. So I got to connect this guy to this guy. The other way of doing that is to connect it via here. So I need to connect my neck to my chest, and I could just do that from here. It's the same thing, whether I pull it or whether I select it from here. No, I'll undo that because I don't want. What I'll do instead is I'll create a null object. So here I can move the entire character using the center. What I'm going to do is basically pre-comp my mouse and with the face, just so that I have, you can't move all attributes, correct? But first I just want to like show you guys how we can just simply using you know keyframes, transform, rotate stuff, we can animate the facial features. So let's see, we need to do some parenting here as well because we don't want the eyes to move independently of each other. It might look like she's drunk, which we don't want that. I just done a bunch of, I've parented the two eyeballs, the black eyeballs to each other, and I've parented the eyeballs to the eye whites. So remember I told you guys that this head is just a single layer. What I want to do is replace it with this face animation comp because I want to have a timeline inside, right? So one way of doing it is to put it there like that, and then kind of match it, and then do that, and then connect the thing. But say I had a bunch of animation which I had already done inside this comp, and I wanted that to appear in this. The way to do that is to replace this comp with this comp. So replace. So the way to do that is to first, let's start with deselecting everything. You select the layer that you want to replace. Select the layer that you want to replace it with. So now I have one layer selected here, one layer selected there. I press Alt, click this, and you see the green plus kind of, and then you drag it onto this, and the icon changes, and you can see that uh, it's now been replaced by composition. Of course, the anchor points didn't match, so what I do very simply is just move the anchor point with the Y tool, move the position here to where I want it to be, and yeah, now I'm back. Now if I had a bunch of animation on the inner composition, I wouldn't have lost it. So I want uh, my eye to blink. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna problem solve it as we go ahead. I'm just gonna create a duplicate of this and place it above the eye the eyeball. Right? Then I'm gonna take fill, and I'm running out of space on the screen. Yeah, you can see there's a bit of a white edge over there. I'm just gonna make it 101%, maybe 102% scale. And what that does is basically I have a closed eye, right? Now the thing with this is that if I don't, if I want it to look like there's something more, I can just either change the color slightly, or what I could do is do a gradient. So I do gradient ramp, uh, and I just select that color, and I select the same color, and then you go into it and make it slightly darker. That gives it, maybe that's too much. So just get the sense that there is a closed eyelid, and I can delete that fill effect. So far so good. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to pre-comp this and call it blink. Command Shift C, blink, leave all attributes in face. Yeah, I want to leave it here, and I'm gonna go in there, and what I'm gonna do is basically create a mask, or so I have one here. I can so basically if I go back to the composition, I see I have a half blink. By masking this, I have a half blink here, right? So you guys see what I'm doing here? So I go into the blink composition, and I can just duplicate the mask. Command D. I can change the color of the second mask so it's easier to tell. So I have, and I just move the mask down, right? So this is my blink closed eye. So I'm gonna edit the mask path in both, right? I'm gonna go a few frames ahead, make a new keyframe, and what I'm gonna do is either pull it down, or I can even take the two shapes, like the 2 points, and pull these down. So the end result is the same. So I'm just gonna do for the yellow one, so take it up. For the orange one, now keep in mind, like this is the blink, so this is the one that should be in the middle. So I just take these points, paste it around it. So this is what I have. See that? I'm just gonna go back here, check my face. Yeah, that's a very basic blink. Cool. So now that I have one blink done, what I'm going to do is basically, this is my IR. I'm going to duplicate this and put it on top. And exactly the same way how I duplicated the eye, the kind of replace that composition, I'm going to, replace this one, because this is basically the same thing as this, but it's just physically in a different place, right? So I'm just gonna, we can go here, reveal layer source in project, blink. Yeah, so this is blink. So I can take this composition and just simply replace this. So Alt and I drag and drop it to this, right? So now I have them exactly, except that I don't have the effect. I want the coloring effect. So that's fine. This scale is 102. This scale is 100. So I need to make that. Yeah, and we're good. So you see how there we have it. So I've shown you guys how to animate, just some using very basic thing. Oh, I need to loop these guys. So that's, I forgot. My bad. Let's add some, maybe some facial expressions. So I might just to show you guys some basic stuff. I'm just gonna randomly go through 4 or 5 different expressions. So let's see. I have eyebrow L here and eyebrow R. So just gonna make the position and rotation keyframes. Cool. Press U. I see all my. Go to the next bit. I see that this is doing the blink, so I'm just gonna move it out. Really offset this, and I go here. Let's see what happens when I. Cool. So let's start by giving the good old, easy ease. Okay. Cool. So not the best, but I'm just trying to show you guys what's going on. Anyway, so now the thing with the time remapping. So this is, I would consider this animation within After Effects, where you can actually, change these shapes and the transform properties and stuff like that. The next thing I want to show you guys is how to use time remapping to replace the compositions that have been designed in Illustrator. So I'm just going to prepare my mouth PC, and what I want to do is have all these guys on. The face, I'm just going to delete this layer because it's basically the same thing. I'm going to go to one frame and one frame only and delete all the others. So I want all my durations to be one frame of each layer. So I have tuck, 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 right? 4 very separate things, and I trim my composition. Actually, I'm going to leave it as is. So let it be in case I decide to increase my setup. Make it 1 second. So there we go. Trim composition to work area. So I have one expression, two. This is frame 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? 0, 1, 2, 3. So now I go back into my comp, and then you can see because I trimmed it, it's now, this is just like super, it's like 1 second long. After that, my face disappears, right? So what I'm going to do is go here, right click, enable time remapping. And what that does is basically it elongates the entire timeline and creates 2 keyframes here. I'm going to delete the second keyframe and select the first one and then go toggle hold keyframe. So now it's just going to hold on the first shape. Whenever I want to replace it, so maybe I go to this frame and I say, look, no, I want the first frame to hold on. And in number 3, I want the second one to hold. Pretty funny expressions happening here. On the 4th marker, I want it to go to the 3rd thing and then back to the 1st thing. So I've used 2 different techniques over here to show you guys how to little tip is to switch the expression in the middle of the screen. So it's a very simple thing I'm showing you guys. You guys can tweak it and use it in a more fluid way. So getting back into my body animation, you can see that all of this animation reflects in the outer comp because I replaced this head composition with the head layer earlier, right? So cool. So I'm gonna now show you guys how to animate the body bits. Okay, so let me I have an idea of what I can do. I'm gonna have her wave from side to side, and her expressions are gonna be a little crazed, but that won't matter. So the first thing I want to do is work from, I want her to wave like as if she's in a football match or something like that, a soccer game. So the first thing I want to do is rotate her arms, like the biceps, because I know that these are, they're setting some of the most basic things in place. So I'm just gonna get her to rotate. No, never mind this for now. We'll set the layer orders in a sec. Okay, next the hand, and I also want there to be some follow through motion. Again, we don't worry about these for now. We'll do the animation first, and then we'll sort that out. Now everything is happening at the same time, right? So if I were to take the bicep, so my bicep is the first thing. If I take the arms and I offset them by a little bit, let's take the arm R and the arm L, these 2 guys, and I offset them by a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, and then I offset the hand. The hand basically needs to offset by quite a bit. And I should have color coded some of these guys. I didn't. You see that the little bit of offset, what that does, it kind of makes it look like a little more believable. Now the head and neck need to kind of be offset as well, because yeah, they're kind of connected. And now I offset these guys. Let's see what if I do that. You see that little bit of offsetting? A little more wave-like. So it's very slow, as you can see, because I use like huge 1 second things, intervals in my keyframes just to have it easy. And now I gotta get it back. Everything has to come back to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Not that that is what my first keyframe was. Cool. So we have an inner animation happening in our face. We have two techniques happening. One where we move the anchor points and track like transform properties, rotation, position and stuff like that. And in another method, we use replacement animation techniques where we design different shapes in Illustrator or Photoshop, and then we replace them using time remapping in this for the mouth. On the outside, we have again transform animation, simple rotation, scale, position, things like that. And what we will do is basically create a new composition. Command N and call it edit. It's 10 seconds. I do not want it to be that huge size. I want it to be 1920 by 1080. And there, I have my edit composition. And I put in my face. No, I put in my mouth. No, I mean my body animation in there. So now I have one composition. Then okay. So what I want to do now is I want to use this very simple animation and kind of do something fun with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a. So the thing is that I want to have this effect of a circle becoming bigger, and this girl kind of comes out of the circle and waves at us, and then the circle becomes smaller again. Now I have this shape of this, I have this girl over here. What if I, first of all, let me scale her down a little bit so that she's a little bigger. Now I want her to be kind of in, I want her to come out of this circle. So she can come out from the top, but she shouldn't come out from the bottom, right? So if I do a track matte and go alpha matte, then I have this thing where it crops out it shows me the girl in the shape of where there is an alpha for the circle, right? So this isn't ideal because like neither do I see the circle, neither do I see the top. So I have a problem. So what I'm going to do is basically duplicate my circle, put it below, and so there I have at least one of the problems solved, where the circle is visible and the girl is being kind of cropped from the circle below. But the problem that's remaining is this top, the hand bit, right? So we'll solve that later. First, let's link these two circles. I'll parent one circle to the other. So let's see. What I want is this circle to start from 0 and at 100. And because this circle is parented to this one, this follows the same thing, right? Cool. So this is so far so good. My problem with this is now I need this girl to be visible at the top, right? So I'll tell you what, let me finish my animation. Okay. Now the other thing I want to do is kind of have the girl kind of appear and in sync with this. So I'm gonna have her kind of be down off screen and kind of off overshoot as well, just like the circle. Kind of go up a bit. And the opposite, where she kind of, you guys see what's going on here. We'll resolve the top of the hands in a second. Right? So now we need to resolve the problem with the top of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate the body animation comp, put it right on top, right? So now it's moving in exactly the same thing, and it's the same thing, right? And now I'm just going to create maybe another solid or rectangle like this, and then and what it does, and then say that just do alpha matte on the top. So just show me the top. Now why I'm doing that is because I know I would want the matte from the circle at the bottom, but on the top I want her to leave the frame. So it's just a very, very simple roundabout like workaround where I just create a matte on top and say like just reveal this stuff in the top, right? So let's see how it works. If it works, oh, we have a problem here, right? Because that's happening. That is happening. So maybe it's just a matter of finding out exactly where I can place that. What I could do is I could just animate this box itself and say like from position here, you just make it just go up, right? Then we don't have a problem anymore. So it's just the easiest solution. Just manually change that. Cool. So now I have my animation. I might want to change the color, something nice and bright, like that. Not so much of a fan of my yeah. Let's see what that's like. Nice. Cool. So she looks a little pissed off, but um, you know what? I'm just gonna change that expression just because it doesn't really work. The way to do that, I can go back to my Illustrator file and I can just very simply, if I update this file, it will update. I'm just gonna save it, and you will see it will, boom, it just updated it. So yeah, she seems happier now, hopefully. There you go. So that is a very simple um, use of character animation using puppets. Anyway, so that's a simple character design, character animation kind of thing. Hope you guys learned something. Uh, I will render this out right now.